Meanwhile, more winds of change are blowing through Pyongyang. The North Korean regime has a new number 2 under Kim Jong-un. For a look at what the reshuffle may mean, let's go live to our Unification Ministry correspondent Hwang Sung-hee at the News Center.
Sung-hee, Kim Jong-un recently promoted Hwang Byung-seo, who is now the second most powerful figure within the regime. It's his third number 2 since December. So is this another sign of possible instability within the regime?
Not quite, Daniel. When Kim Jong-un executed his uncle Chang Song-taek 6 months ago, there was speculation of a power struggle within the regime, but there haven't been any signs of such an internal strife since then. Instead, the rise of Hwang Byung-seo as North Korea's new military Politburo chief is being seen as a continuation of Kim Jong-un's attempts to solidify the party's control over the military.
If Arirang established the basis of Kim Jong-un's control of the military among their higher ranks, it seems Hwang Byung-seo was appointed to spread this ideology to the lower ranks of the military.
The military Politburo chief oversees the political and philosophical affairs of the military in a regime where ideology reigns supreme. Hwang's career has been with the Workers' Party of Korea, meaning he's a former party official, not a military man. Now that's noteworthy since Hwang has been appointed as the military's highest-ranking link to the party. So going back to your question, Daniel, Hwang's appointment is likely intended to help the regime gain better control over the military, not as a response to instability within the regime.
No, Sung-hee, I think we stand inevitable that we compare Kim Jong-un to his father Kim Jong-il and grandfather Kim Il-sung, and compared to them, he seems much more impulsive when it comes to personnel changes. Why is that so?
Well, given North Korea's history and Kim Jong-un's age, he could realistically rule for another 30 to 40 years. Now, personnel changes are common in dictatorships, and it's important to remember that the young leader is still in the very early stages of creating a so-called Kim Jong-un-style North Korea. Officials appointed to key posts by the young Kim, like military Politburo chief Hwang Byung-seo, defense minister Jang Jong-nam, and chief of staff Lee Young-gil are in their 50s or 60s, which is much younger than their predecessors.
With the elimination of former figures within the Kim Jong-il era and the rise of new figures, Kim Jong-un is creating a new structure of people that he will have direct control over.
Reshuffles have been much more frequent under the Kim Jong-un regime. We could pin that on the impulsiveness of a young dictator, but we must also take his late father Kim Jong-il's so-called Sungun, or military-first politics, into account. Now, back then, the military held all the power. Now, the young Kim is attempting to rebalance this, appointing officials to posts in the government, party, and military, and giving them a certain degree of power and responsibility that's relevant to their positions.
Looks like North Korea can be compared to fashion. One day you're out, the next day, one day you're in, the next day you're out. Now, another notable personnel change is the regime's new foreign minister. Sung, is there any expectation of a shift in foreign policy under his watch?
Well, new Foreign Minister Lee Soo-young is a very interesting figure because he is believed to have been close to Chang Song-taek. Most of Chang's close aides fell from power, but Lee was one of the exceptions, actually being promoted to a higher rank. Now, Lee was a long-time North Korean ambassador to Switzerland and reportedly took care of Kim Jong-un when he attended school there from 1998 to 2000. Experts say Lee was likely promoted because of his special relationship with the young leader or because North Korea wants to improve ties with Europe. Now, if it's the latter, the context that Lee established during his years of service in Switzerland will be useful in North Korea's attempts at attracting investment from Europe.
All right, Sung-hee, the shakeup comes amid heightening tensions on the Korean peninsula. We wonder if these changes, personnel changes, will affect Pyongyang's cross-border policies.
Well, Ganyang, any clues about that would come from personnel changes in North Korea's powerful National Defense Commission or the United Front Department, which handle cross-border affairs. The heads of both departments remain intact, and another key post that has a role in cross-border ties would be North Korea's Red Cross, and there have been no significant changes there either. Now, experts say for now, North Korea's nuclear test is the biggest factor that could jeopardize inter-Korean relations.
Sang-hee on that update on the latest reshuffle and changes in North Korea.